my team. So don't worry if you've got someone liking all your comments and answering your questions. That is Gemma from my team. She is with me, not a weird stalker. So all is good. We are going to be around 25 minutes and I'll do an optional Q&A at the end. So if you do have questions, you are so welcome to put them in the chat, but I'll also give you some time at the end as well. So we'll do whatever makes sense for us. Okay, just before we get started, could you let me know where in the world are you joining me from? Whereabouts in the UK, whereabouts in the US? These tend to be our two main areas that people are joining us from. And I'm going to start sharing my screen. Perfect. Amazing. I can still see your comments whilst I'm sharing. So do talk to me as we go through. Amazing. Liz is in London as well. Me too. Canada. Lauren's with us from Canada. That's amazing. Exeter, Glasgow. Good to see you, Cara. Hampshire, London, Northern Ireland, Cotswolds. Camera and microphone are not working, but I'm in Cheshire. That's right, Vicky. I can see your comments here. Right. I've got a lot to squeeze in, guys. So I am going to get started. So the first thing I want to say is, imagine if from just this conversation we're going to have, if you were able to book one extra wedding. From just this conversation, just one. Now, you don't have to put the amount in the chat, but I want you to think mentally, how much does that correspond with in dollars or pounds? So if something I tell you today books you one extra wedding, what does that mean in terms of real revenue? Now, this conversation is going to be for you if you are a senior leader in a venue or hotel. Who are my senior leaders? Just put a little yes, a little Y for yes in the chat. You're a general manager, you're a head of sales, you're a sales office manager. Yep, perfect, amazing. And by the way, if you're a wedding coordinator and you found your way here and you're like, oh no, I am not a senior leader, you are also welcome. But this conversation is definitely a commercial conversation. Yeah, Liz as well. We've got our owners as well. This is for you if you want to increase weddings quantity and quality. I'll talk more about that later. And look, the reality is your bookings are probably pretty good, right? Most of you on this call are not here because you can't book weddings. You're not here because you don't have any weddings. Your bookings are probably decent, right? And you can just pop a little me in the chat if that's you. But like myself, you're always striving for the next level. You're always striving to be better. We like our standards nice and high. So even though our bookings are good, we do want to push it up and get to the next level. And if that resonates with you, you can just pop a little me in the chat. So you might be seeing, yes, Carla, Lauren, Tamara, the same as me. You might be seeing your number of inquiries or leads have decreased. Now, I want you to feel that you're in a safe space. We're all in a very similar position here. Do let me know in the chat if that's you. So a lot of the businesses I work with, when they come to me, what they're saying is, look, we used to drive quite a few more leads and inquiries each week, but something's happened. They've fallen off a cliff a little bit. Yeah, exactly. So things might feel like they have gone quiet. You might be seeing that your venue tours, some of us call them viewings, show rounds, whatever you like to call them, your venue tours have reduced. And it's actually harder to get couples on site. Is anybody seeing that? It's harder to get real human beings inside our properties. Yeah, and look, one of the reasons I'm asking you to tell me this in the chat is because I want you to see that it's not you. This is happening across the market. And that's why you're seeing lots of other people saying, yes, me as well. And I wonder if you are hearing your team say to you, if I can get them on site, I can convert them. So in the revenue meetings and the conversations you're having, can you let me know if you've heard this from your team? If I can get them here, then I can book them. But the problem is getting the leads and getting the humans on site. And yes, a lot of you saying that that is what you're hearing. And look, none of us have unlimited time. We don't have unlimited budget. And so we feel a bit unclear about where to focus. So you might also be seeing that you've tried various forms of follow-up and you're not really getting much results. And if you're honest with me, for those of you that do not see my social posts, you might have even encouraged your team to pick up the phone. Now, I laugh about this because I often post that we should not be calling our couples. We'll delve into that later. But for some of us, you know, we were of an era where we would just pick up the phone and talk to people. And so we're telling our teams pick up the phone, but it's not working, or your team are telling you it doesn't work. You might have hosted open days with limited results. I'm seeing a lot of this at the moment. Our clients coming to us and saying, look, we're doing these open days, it's costing money and time, but we're just not getting the bookings. And I see a lot of this. We're putting out offers, late deals, we're adding value, but it's still having limited success. So inside the next 25 minutes, I want you to walk away with practical, tangible things that you can do. I want you to get clear on why your wedding revenue has stalled, because for a lot of venues, that's what's happened. I want you to have a clear understanding of the next steps. I want you to know how to take your wedding revenue to the next level. And I want you to be able to start tomorrow, not next month, not in 3 months. I want you to start tomorrow so we start seeing these results. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of fun, because who among us are a little bit competitive? My hotel people especially are always the ones who are like, yeah, I'm competitive. Yeah, me, love it. I knew it. I knew it was you guys. So what I'm going to do is I've got 3 wedding brochure checklists, right? So for your wedding brochures that you create online or the printed ones, I've got a checklist that is actually inside my client portal. It's a client resource. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give 3 of them away at the end of this Zoom call. So Gemma is going to keep an eye on your questions. We are looking for the 3 best questions throughout this conversation. And I will announce 3 winners at the end, and we will send you that lovely checklist. So for my competitive people, this one is for you. Otherwise, ask your brilliant questions and we will give you that completely for free. I want to share some of the challenges I see coming up, okay? Wedding venues say to me, the thing is, Kelly, we just don't have time to implement the strategies that we would like. Is anybody struggling with that? Just put number 1 if you're struggling with that. The reality is the right wedding sales journey should be saving you wasted hours every week. Our teams are really wasting time on things that are not moving the needle. And so this whole time to implement is a little bit, chicken or egg scenario. Do we do the thing first so that it saves us time later? Another challenge is the return on investment, or simply just the cost of anything. So what I want to share with you are things that are low or indeed no cost to implement, where you will see a return, because I know that we just don't have the budgets. Quality as well as quantity. If number 3 is something you're focused on, pop number 3. So you want good quality weddings, not just more quantity. And this is, again, often something that venues come to me and we discuss, because we want increased average booking value, not just more dates filled. And for a lot of venues, they've ended up in this vicious cycle where they've got lots of dates filled, but the average booking value is so low, you might be barely covering the cost to put on that wedding. The profit margins are just getting smaller and smaller. So you can let me know if that's for you. Yeah, we're all about number 3. Events, I don't know what your name is. If you can change your name from events to your name, then I'll be able to help you with that one. Team challenges. I'm going to say this quietly in case you've got me on loudspeaker in the office. We've all got different team members we're managing. Some have been in the business for a long time and they're stuck in their ways. And then we've got very new team members who are quite green. They're not experienced. They haven't really embedded into the business. So we've all got these very different team challenges. And then the 5th thing I see is that venues believe they are already doing it all. But every time I get hold of a venue, there are gaps in their sales journey that we can plug to drive more bookings through. So let me know if any of that resonated with you and you are seeing some of those challenges. Okay, get your pen ready. You'll need to start writing stuff down. Tamarin, thank you very much. Mel, yes, you're a dry hire. Tony, 3. Yeah, all of them. Absolutely. And these are really common challenges. Okay, get your pen ready. This is some of the stuff you do not need, and you can breathe a sigh of relief. You don't actually need more leads. Now, later, when I work with venues, a couple of months down the line, once we've got a strong wedding sales journey, yes, we look at, okay, putting leads in at the top. But the thing is, leads cost money. You have to go and get them. And right now, that is not your biggest problem. You do not need to put out offers. Please, please consider not putting out offers. Not only does it lower your profit, it actually devalues your brand. It devalues what people are seeing out there. So if you're posting things on social media with, 30% off or cheaper options for the remaining dates, it's going to make people looking for the following year who would have paid the full rate devalue you, and then you get stuck in this cycle of cheaper and cheaper weddings. I throw this one in just for fun. You don't need a 360 virtual walkthrough, because I've got so many GMs right now asking me if that's what they need to be able to sell weddings. You do not need to pay for one of those 360 walkthroughs. You do not need to find another directory. You're probably on a couple of the big ones. They already are doing what they're supposed to do. You definitely don't need more wedding fairs. Whilst we see this work for suppliers and vendors, we don't see this working very well in 2026 for our wedding venues. If you were to actually look at the results from the wedding fairs, what it's costing you in time and money, and the bookings you're getting back, you're going to see that they're just not delivering. And relief of relief, you don't even need to post extra on social media. Obviously, I want you on social media, but that isn't the answer to all of your problems. Is anybody relieved by some of these? Can you just put a few or a smiley face in the chat? Is anyone relieved? Yeah. Because sometimes we feel like this is our only option, right? Post more on social, put out offers, do another wedding fair, spend more money on directories. Okay, so we don't need this. Let's look at what we do need. Your current wedding sales journey is outdated. So whatever else you try is actually going to have a limited return until this piece is fixed. And that is where all of the people, when they come to me, that is where they are going wrong. So you might be saying, well, how the hell do you know, Kelly? I just saw a post from you on the internet. I don't even know who you are. How do you know? I work with venues and hotel groups all over the world, but predominantly here in the UK. I'm based in London and the US. I'm hands-on leading venue teams. I'm on site with my venues, and we're implementing high converting wedding sales journeys. I have already tested all the nuances, every little piece, to find out exactly what converts at every step. And I consistently deliver 50 to 100% growth after implementing wedding sales journeys. So how do I know? I'm doing this day in, day out, and I want to share some of it with you. So these are some of the brands I work with and work for and have worked with. So if you're sitting there thinking, oh, but Kelly, you don't understand. I work for one of these big global brands. They'll never let us do anything. They will. They will. These are some of my clients. Okay. Who remembers, or who's old like me, and who had a Nokia phone pre-iPhone? Yes, I'm in the right group of people. Amazing. Who me? Oh God, I'd love a Nokia these days, wouldn't you? But I'm not sharing this just for sentimental value. I want to give you a really important real world example. Yeah, they could survive anything, Cara. People dropped those from the 25th floor and they didn't break, right? Imagine back in the day, iPhone are coming onto the scene. Nokia have market share. They're the winners. We all have a Nokia. But then Nokia sales start to decline. iPhone and other smartphones are available, start to come into the market. And imagine if in the Nokia boardroom, they said, oh, we just need more leads. We just need more people to know we exist. And look, maybe they did. Like, maybe they actually did say that in the boardroom. I don't know. But I don't think that would have worked, because it wasn't about the fact that people didn't know they existed. It was the fact that they were outdated. And here's a really interesting thing. I found this old ad, and they were giving away Nokias. I mean, imagine if your line rental was £5 a month at this point. Yes, please give me a £5 a month line rental. But the important thing here is they couldn't give those phones away for free. Look, free Nokia with your line rental. And just tell me in the chat, some of you right now are feeling as if you're practically giving weddings away for free, and it still doesn't seem to be working as well as you'd like. And I want you to see that this is simply a case of being on the wrong sales journey. When the iPhone launched, Nokia did what a lot of wedding venues are doing right now. We need to learn from their mistakes. Nokia lost revenue because they kept tweaking. Instead of just adapting to new buyer behavior and seeing that the buyer had changed, they assumed market dominance would protect them. They moved way too slowly. This one, if you're writing notes, underline this. They thought they could compete on price. They thought they could compete on price until they were giving them away for free. But they underestimated how much consumer behavior had changed. And I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. People who work with me know I'm not here for the tea and hugs. I'm here for the reality, and that is that your current wedding sales journey is Nokia, not your product, not your venue, not your team, not your service, your wedding sales journey. So whatever you do will only have a limited return until this part is fixed. So let me share 3 very practical solutions that hundreds of my venues are implementing now and seeing significantly increased wedding revenue. Number 1 of 3, research mode. Our couples are online researching. They are gathering brochures, pricing. They like low commitment and low touch. Right at the beginning of the journey, they do not want people calling them. They do not want high touch. They do not want to tell you about their vision. They don't want to fill out 400 contact boxes on the contact form. They don't want to tell you what their grandmother's cat's name is. They just want information. They want to gather information, low commitment, low touch. They are overwhelmed with choice. They don't know if they're going to get married in a barn or on a beach. They are overwhelmed with choice. They are looking at all options. And tell me in the chat, what do human beings, forget wedding couples, what do human beings do when we are overwhelmed with choice? How do we react to that? How does that go? Yeah. Hey, Beverly, good to see you. We hide. Yeah, events, we close off. We just stop, says Emily. We run, says Mel. We shut down, Charlotte. We hide, Emily. We pick nothing. Rose, you're bang on. We pick nothing. When we are overwhelmed with choice, we do nothing. We procrastinate. We put the decision off. And our couples are in this position, which means they need digitally warming up. They do not want to speak on the phone. Now, I am a phone person. I will talk to you all day long on the phone. Who's a phone person? Just put a Y for yes in the chat. Do you love speaking on the phone? Yes. We're probably of a similar age, right? But your target audience, late 20s, early 30s, they do not want to speak on the phone. They have phone anxiety. They actually don't want to do it. And so we're telling them, hey, pick up the phone and chat to our team. Hey, give us your telephone number and someone will cold call you. Nobody wants that. In fact, when was the last time a business asked you for your telephone number? How did it make you feel? Any business, maybe you were looking at a new car, a new kitchen, a holiday, any product. When they ask for your telephone number, what do you think? What do you think? Oh, of course, absolutely. Of course, there are people getting married who are not in their late 20s and early 30s, but I'm talking about the bulk of our market. When people ask us for our phone number, we don't like it. Even this, guys, consider what your call to action is on your website right this second. It probably says, make an inquiry. Now, where are my USAers? Who have I got from America? That is not a typo. We spell inquiry with an E in the UK. But your couple, more importantly, this call to action, make an inquiry, is too high commitment. Think about it. They're overwhelmed, low touch, low commitment. They just want information. That sounds like they're saying, I'm interested in booking your venue. They're not. They just want more info. And they want to do it without human interaction yet. We are going too high, too fast, too hard when they just want a little information. So what does this mean? Quick checklist, write this down. On your website, you do not have immediate offers thrown at them. This is not a pricing issue. This is an information issue. You do not have availability calendars for the remaining wedding dates. Your couples are not date driven. Stop talking about dates. They don't care what you have available. They care whether you're the right venue for them. Do not have 5 different options on the menu bar. Oh, weddings outside, weddings inside, weddings with pets, wedding accommodation. They're already overwhelmed. And then we're saying to them, choose another decision, another click. Make sure your images are not generic. You're making this mistake. They're couple focused. We land on the website and all we see is loads of couples and their families. We want to see the product. We want to see the venue. We don't get a clear walkthrough of the space. Okay, where are my hotels? Put a H if you're a hotel. This one is for you. I'm a hotel girl through and through. Been in hotels since I was 21. You hotel people, I know you know this, we are too focused on the food and beverage offering. We go straight to the menu. On the website, on the emails, we're like, hey, choose between chicken and salmon. No, they care about the venue product. What's it going to look like? They don't care if they're having chicken or salmon this early on. We want to remove all of that. What you're missing is a small, easy step to data capture where you get their email address and then we're able to nurture them. Oh, great question. So Arnaud, have I said that correctly? Have I said your name correctly? You said before we do not need a third-party tour and no clear walkthrough of space. How do we do it? We do it with the images. The walkthrough is on the images. So the images show us getting ready space, ceremony space, dinner space, sleeping space, breakfast space. We do it with our beautiful images. Couples have too much choice. They will just click onto the next website that made it easier for them. So I want you to do a little test, not this second after the call. Ask your IT team, how many wedding page visitors did you have in the last 90 days? Let's imagine 1,000 people clicked on the wedding page in the last 90 days on your website. Now compare that number to how many inquiries you got from the website. Let's make numbers up. Let's say 1,000 people clicked on the page, they landed, but only 30, only 100 people made an inquiry. Think about that gap between the people who made an inquiry and the number of people on the website. That is your immediate opportunity. No extra leads required, no extra money required. That is your immediate gap. Okay, let me give you a real world example. My client, Lisa, she has a hotel venue in Yorkshire here in the UK. She was struggling to drive inquiries and of course venue tours because no inquiries means no tours. She's independent, it's a family business, no big marketing budget. Well, she was the marketing team. We overhauled the wedding sales journey, especially the wedding page. And within 90 days, her team complained they could not manage the amount of viewings being booked. In fact, they turned off the venue tour calendar where people could book a tour. So imagine within 90 days that this was your problem. Yes, Irene, I love appointment calendars. So the calendar to book the tour should absolutely be on the website, 100%. Okay, so number one was research mode. Number two, easy to buy. Let me pause here. How are we doing? Drop a word in the chat. How do you feel? Are you getting some ideas already on what you need to do? Vicky, yes. Rose is feeling great. Irene, yes. Perfect, perfect. Okay. Your packages and pricing is part of your marketing. Most venues have too many and they're not strategic. Imagine when this overwhelmed buyer lands on the website and they see so many packages. Your pricing and packaging is confusing, overwhelming, and not compelling. What you need is the wedding equivalent of the penthouse. Let me explain. If you were to showcase to your customer different pricing tiers with strategic penthouse pricing, then you would see a more higher spend couple coming through the door. So imagine if you went to book a lovely 5-star hotel, like my old home, Claridge's. I used to run the sales team at Claridge's. Many of you will know that, very iconic hotel here in the UK. A standard room is going to set you back £800 a night. Junior suite, £1,500. But the penthouse, that's going to set you back £60,000. Now, consider the pricing tiers you probably currently have. They probably go up by £5 or $5 per tier, maybe 10, maybe 20 at a push. But the penthouse method is different. When you significantly increase what the top end looks like, you stretch your value ladder. And tell me in the chat, what happens to the other pricing when you pop a penthouse price at the top of it? What happened to the rest of the pricing in your mind right there when you were looking at the numbers? Yes, Elizabeth! Yes, Emily! Suddenly, this seems reasonable. This seems cheap. And yet, if I'd have just said, hey, £800 for one room, not even including breakfast, you'd have said, that's crazy. It looks cheap. Let me give you another example. My fabulous client, Mark, he actually owns 5 venues. But when they came to me, they were always attracting budget couples and discount hunters. Who has been in that position? We overhauled their wedding sales journey, especially reworking the packages to the easy to buy method. Within 30 days, his team saw the top new package booked, which was double their usual average booking value, simply by reworking the packages and the pricing. Now, I'm sure most of you on this call would love to see that happen, where you're getting double the usual average booking value, because one day, one team, double the sales. That makes sense to me. Okay, our third point, decision delay. This is our other big thing going on right now. So when I work with teams on site, they often say this: I just wish I got 5 quality, what they mean is hot leads, instead of 30 that go nowhere, i.e. cold leads. But what I need you to understand is that today's couples are taking much longer. If they reach out today, they might not view for 3 months. Now, I don't know how closely you speak with your teams who are dealing with the actual leads on the ground, and you might be hearing this from your team, but people are coming back 3 months, 5 months, 12 months after they first reached out to our venues. And then after that, they are coming to view and then waiting another 3 months before making the final decision. Yes, Carla says she's hearing this from the team, but she didn't quite believe it. This is happening across the industry, this decision delay between every point. Our couples today will not be pushed. They will not be rushed. And so the response, the solution, is a nurture sequence of emails. Again, if you're writing notes, write this one down, put a big underline under it. A nurture sequence of emails is what connects our couples when they are still deciding without us being pushy. And a post-viewing process to keep them on board. Yes, Amy, thank you so much. She just said, I just had someone come back to book. That came in January. You will see this across the board with your teams. So Emily, would it be reasonable to ask at the point of inquiry where the clients are in their decision-making, just starting, shortlisting and progressing? Look, you could, but my loves, these are not corporate buyers. Yeah, these are emotional, excited, in love human beings. They don't even know where they're at in the process. They just got a ring on it. And now they're like, woo, let's go see venues and drink champagne. They don't even know. If they see the right one and the gut feel happens, we can get them to book. So here's another brilliant quick win. Fast decision bonus. Help them make a decision. Human beings are bad at making decisions. I love making decisions. I'm a fast decision maker. Who else is with me for fast decision making? But our couples today, they take time. And so we can give them a fast decision bonus. One of my clients has a small sweetheart cottage on her property. And if the couple booked within 3 days of the venue tour, she throws that cottage in, included in the package. Now, they can always book later and add it on for a few $100s, but it helps them focus their brain. Is this our venue? Because if it is, we want the cottage. The reality is, guys, today, 2026, the business that does the best warm-up wins the wedding. There are no hot buyers. They're all coming in cold, distant, low commitment, low touch. The better warm-up we do, that's how we win. Okay, another example for you. My client, Sarah, global branded hotel group. And I know we've got some of you on the call. This gives you other issues, right? Struggled with low conversion. She had loads of leads coming in, but they were not converting to venue tours. Her team were inconsistent with follow-up because the follow-up they were doing wasn't working. They were just sending emails saying, hey, have you read the brochure? Do you want to come in for a tour? And because of that, they stopped following up. So it was very, very patchy. We had big challenges with the brand because we needed to create a new wedding sales journey, especially the nurture sequence. And we had to do it with inside the guidelines we were allowed inside the brand. But within 90 days, her team increased their tours from the leads already coming in by 42%. Leads already coming in, no more money on extra leads, just better conversion. So who would love to see some of these results in their own venues? Just put a little me in the chat if you would love to see some of this happening for you. Yes, exactly. And can you already see some of the gaps in your wedding sales journey? Is it already started? And I've only shared a couple of quick wins with you. Is it already starting to become apparent? And I need to be really honest. It's not your fault. Like, it's not your fault. The wedding market has changed. The wedding buyer has changed. Most of us as senior leaders are not on the ground actually dealing with couples. So we haven't seen the change happen. All we've seen is the decline in revenue and bookings. And then we're after our teams to make a change. But actually, we need to change some fundamental pieces because there are pieces that are missing. What I'd love to know, though, is if you think it's even realistic that you can get results like this. Do you even believe it's possible for your venue, for your team? Does it feel possible that you could send me a message like this? Sold 5 weddings in one day. That must be a national record. I love this. And because of people picking the higher packages, if we continue this way, we will make double the amount we did last year. This is all possible. Another message I got, we have got viewings and bookings coming out of our ears. Like, who wants to send me a message saying that? We've got viewings and bookings coming out of our ears. Look, you're smart, you're senior leaders, you do very well in your business, you do very well in your company, you're well respected, you lead your teams, you know what you're doing. You can absolutely figure out all of the steps on your own, especially if you have the spare time to test and try each detail. But for some of you, you prefer the shortcut. You would like the most direct route because, to be honest, you don't have the time or the money to waste figuring it out. I know what you want is a clear wedding sales plan, one that you can measure, one that the team are all trained on, and one where you actually see bookings. You want more leads incoming so that more people know you exist. You want increased average spend, attracting those higher budgets and avoiding the discount hunters. I know you want more low season dates booked, so those harder to fill dates, as well as the midweek bookings, because some of us would like a couple of weddings during the week as well as the corporate stuff. So more consistency across the year. And I know you would love a revenue meeting where weddings are always a positive topic rather than scratching around for ideas or putting out another offer. So the final question really is, do you want my help to get there? Do you want my help to get there faster, quicker, easier, so that you can start seeing some of those results? So I would like to share with you in just 2 minutes, the next level. This is where we help people to increase their revenue in 90 days. It is an online training portal. It is nice and simple. Online training, clear, advanced videos. You watch, or your team watch, and then they implement. It's very straightforward. But most important for me is all steps are 100% practical. This is not nice theory. This is listen to what I say on the video, go do the thing on the video, and then start seeing results. Very practical. Now, a common question I get asked about the training portal is, who has access? Is this just one person in the team? No. Everybody in the venue can have access. It is an unlimited number of seats to access the training. So if you need your marketing person to see stuff, you need your wedding coordinator to see stuff, you want to go in and see stuff, everybody can have access. But what's important for me is that I actually know our clients, support our clients. So we host a weekly live Zoom call. That is where you bring what you have done to be reviewed. Now, you don't have to come every week, but I encourage you to do so. You get tailored feedback. So let's say you rework your packages and you think you've done it right. You bring it to me and we check that you're on the right path, that you haven't missed anything crucial before it gets put in the brochure and on the website. You get tailored feedback. You get to ask your questions. Kelly, we're thinking about doing this wedding fair. What do you think? Okay, let's brainstorm whether this is going to deliver the ROI. So a common question I get, How many people are on these Zoom calls? Will I get my question answered? So we have around 200 people inside the Next Level. They do not all turn up to the weekly call. Sometimes there's 15, sometimes there's 20. Occasionally, especially school holidays, there's 1 or 2, and people get really dedicated time with me. We also give everyone a personal 90-day plan. Now, when I say we, I mean the lovely Gemma who's been supporting you in the chat. She will send you a personal 90-day plan so you can literally keep on track with what you're doing, click off your progress, and increase revenue. Straightforward and simple. If you booked just one extra wedding, what would that mean in terms of real dollars and pounds? So for those of you that prefer the shortcut, I'm going to share 3 ways I help people, but I want you to focus on the next level. Keep your eyes on the next level. So the thing that I do, my 9 to 5, shall we say, what I do during the main working week is I'm on site with venues, wedding sales director. I drop in for 3 months, we deliver everything, and that's 12,000. We do a sales day, a 1 day at your venue, deliver the wedding sales journey, that's 4,000. However, today, what I want you to focus on is you could access the Next Level for 90 days, all the online training, all the steps, all the live support on Zoom for £450. £450. How many weddings would you need to sell to make back that money? This is where I recommend you focus. Emily, beautiful noticing there. Absolutely. I practice what I preach 100%. So how long have you been trying to increase wedding revenue? And if you don't make a plan now, when will things change? Now, I want to do something really amazing. So keep your ears open. For everybody who joins the Next Level before 4 p.m. UK time, which is 11 a.m. Eastern, which is like an hour and a half away, I am going to give you a wedding sales audit. This is where I personally look at your sales journey, record a video of me going through your sales journey and pointing out the exact things I would change so that you have it in the most compact, most straightforward way possible. Now, this is a product I sell for £500. You can go on my website if that's what you want. You can go book that now and I'll do that for you. But if you book the Next Level before 4 p.m, I'm going to give you that completely for free. That's going to be included. A personalized wedding sales audit of your property. So, common questions. How many of the team can access T&L for £450? Unlimited. As many people as you need. Kelly, we're short on time. Like, will this work? Yes. Wedding sales audit is a shortcut, 90-day tracker, so you just follow the plan, and the T&L steps I'm going to teach you will actually save you time. How do we get feedback? Weekly optional Zoom calls, you jump on with me, and we also have what we call a 7-minute review, which is an upload to submit web pages, emails, brochures, pricing. You can submit and I will give you feedback. What is the bonus audit? That is me going through your venue sales journey and pointing out exactly what I would change and how, so you can see more conversions. And how do we start? We start here, kellymortimer.com/book now. Gemma has popped the link in the chat. So with all that said, brochure checklist winners, brochure checklist winners. So we have got some amazing questions that came through. So let me go here. Rose, do you recommend having pricing up on the website? Absolutely. How do we feel when businesses don't show their pricing? It's so stressful. So 100% Rose, we want the pricing on the website. Rose, you are getting a brochure checklist. Arnaud, I hope I'm saying that right. You asked the question about the clear walkthrough and the third the 360 tour. That was a brilliant question. You are getting a brochure checklist. And Tamarin, a brilliant question. Would you prefer brochure in a physical form or digital? Technically, we need both. Digital on the front end, printed when they come in for tour. So those are our 3 people who are going to get the brochure checklist. And if you email me, kelly@kellymortimer.com, let me know that you were one of those 3. We will send it to you. And by the way, for those of you that are joining TNL, the checklist is inside. So if you weren't one of those three and you're joining TNL, that checklist is part of the resource. So we have just a few minutes left for questions. Throw questions at me, guys. I'm going to give you a few minutes of fast, rapid fire. Perfect. Oh, I'm still on Gemma's chat. 1 second. There we go. Throw the questions at me. What would you love to get the answer to? Cara, what would be the pitfalls to avoid as non-conventional venue just venturing into wedding space? Ooh, nice one, Cara. So the pitfalls are, or the best, let's go best practice. Make sure you have excellent images of your space set for weddings. That requires a photo shoot. Don't wait for the weddings to happen. You need to create a photo shoot, show the space. That is going to be your strongest sales asset. Melissa, do you recommend being on directories such as Hitched and Bridebook? Great question. So for a while, they were dying out because customers were just finding through social media, through Google, and directories were certainly on a decline. They also typically were attracting budget to mid-spend couples. However, now with AI is reading the directories. If you are not on the directories, then AI is not as best placed to find you. So we are actually seeing a change in how these directories are working. They are pulling the information through and suggesting it to couples when they're using AI as a personal assistant to research venues. Can you go back to the brochure? Hard copy still. So you do not need to spend $5, £5 per brochure. You do not need to do that. The most important is a digital copy at the front end of the sales process. However, if they get on site and come for a tour, I love to hand them a hard copy of the brochure, but it is not going to make or break the sale. So if I need to cut costs, that is certainly one way I can do it. The digital brochure at the front end is going to do much more heavy lifting. Rose, what would you say the number one priority should be for a new venue that is still being built and reopening in the end of the year? Computer generated images. I've worked with a lot of venues through refurb, serious refurb, where they're completely closed and covered in scaffolding, as well as new venues. Computer generated images, and try to set up some sort of showroom, i.e., what do I mean by showroom? A wedding office that you can bring people into to meet in real life, giving them a glass of bubbles, making them feel special, giving that personal connection, and showing them the computer generated images. Then secondly, think about how new homes sell. You get a lower price point before that new home is complete. The same is true with wedding venues. Before the venue is ready, you get this special price. Once the venue is open and people can see the real venue, the price is going to go through the roof. So you use that marker. They're taking a little risk because they can't see the product, but they're getting a really nice price for it. Yes, perfect. So this is interesting. So people often say this, oh, we're doing everything you mentioned, we just came to check. I have not told you in this short window every single detail of every step of the wedding sales journey. There are a million nuances. There are a million pieces to every step. I worked with a big group of hotels who told me, yeah, we're doing brilliant nurture sequences, When I went and unpacked it, when I went in and looked at what they were sending, the content was not correct. They were not converting to venue tours. So we can say, oh, yeah, we're doing everything, but we're not. There are nuances at every step of the journey. And today, I haven't told you even 20% of the wedding sales journey that we need to look at. Liz, my hottest inquiries are on Airbnb, so don't have their email, so can't implement and nurture sequence. Do I nurture via? Yes, you definitely can. So if the wedding inquiry is coming via Airbnb, I would be asking them for an email to email the digital brochure to them, Liz. So what you're going to do is ask for the email address on the Airbnb chat and say, I'm going to email you a copy of the brochure. And that's how you're going to get them off Airbnb and into the nurture sequence. Okay, amazing. Guys, tell me in the chat, who has taken something away from today that they absolutely know is going to change their results? And I can already see there's little messages popping up on my screen of all of you who are joining the next level. I will be cracking on with your wedding sales audit. So you'll be getting a personalized video so you can actually see exactly what you need to do on your website, on your emails, on your journey, on your brochure, so that these are converting at the highest level. Bethan, you're so welcome. Tamarin, so welcome. Anna, so welcome. Vicky, brilliant. Thanks so much, says Tracy. Amazing, exceptional. Tony, you're amazing. Yeah, brilliant. Richard, you're so welcome. Perfect. Guys, have a brilliant rest of your day. And for those of you jumping into the next level, I will see you on the inside. Take care. Bye.